You've tracked the food, you've read the labels, you've done everything right. And yet your blood sugar is still not where you want it to be. What if I told you that the problem was never your discipline and that the solution has almost nothing to do with what's on your plate? If you're a woman that's navigating prediabetes or other metabolic causes of weight gain, perhaps, and you're tired of being handed the same meal plan that has nothing to do with your life, your culture, your kitchen, your joy, I made this video for you. I help women reverse prediabetes with what I call joyful medicine that honors who you are, where you come from, and the fullness of the life that you're actually living. And that is really the point, right? We're supposed to live life fully and enjoy it completely. So today I want to share something that has changed the way I think about metabolic health entirely. Your food choice happens way before that moment at the fridge or at the table, or if you're out and about. It is shaped by your nervous system, your sleep, your stress load, the environment you're in, and yes, your joy. These are not soft concepts. They are hard science. And when we understand them, we stop blaming ourselves and start working with our biology. So let's get started. So your body has two operating modes governed by your autonomic nervous system. There's the sympathetic mode, which is called, sometimes you've heard of fight or flight, and that's your stress response. That's when your body thinks that there's a threat, and it doesn't matter whether it's an alarm on your phone or whether you're being chased by a bear, your body responds in the same way. It's mobilizing everything to survive. And then there's parasympathetic mode, which is sometimes called rest and digest. This is the state where your body heals, regulates hormones, and actually is able to process the food in the way that it's meant to be processed. Here's what the research shows us. Chronic stress actually keeps your body locked in sympathetic mode. And a study published in Psychoneuroendocrinology found that this chronic stress response significantly impairs insulin sensitivity, meaning that your cells actually stop listening to insulin the way that they should. This is the same mechanism that causes prediabetes and then eventually can lead to type 2 diabetes. When cortisol, which is your primary stress hormone, is chronically elevated, your liver actually releases glucose so that it can fight that bear into your bloodstream, even when you haven't eaten. Your blood sugar rises, your pancreas responds appropriately by increasing insulin, and then over time, this exhausts the system. And here's the part that connects directly to your food choices in real time. So cortisol also suppresses the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that actually helps you make decisions and think long term, what people like to call willpower. So when you're stressed, overwhelmed, you're stretched thin, you're not weak. You are neurologically less resourced to make the choices that you want to. Your brain is in survival mode. It's not able to plan. So this is not a character flaw. This is actual biology. And once you understand it, you can stop fighting yourself and start actually supporting your nervous system instead. So stress. We talk about stress as if it's the same for everyone, but it really isn't. Recent study that came out from the Black Women's Health Study that experiences of racial discrimination were independently associated with higher rates of type 2 diabetes, even after you controlled for BMI, diet, and physical activity. So what that means is the chronic stress of living in a world that underserves and over scrutinizes your body is a metabolic condition. It's not a personal failure, a systemic one, actually. This is why a meal plan that ignores your lived experience will never be enough. Your metabolism has a social and cultural context as well. Your care has to meet you where you are. Let's talk about sleep. There was a study from University of Chicago that found that just 4 nights of partial sleep deprivation also reduced insulin sensitivity by 30% in healthy adults. 30%, that's in 4 nights. It's a real problem. Sleep is restorative, but it does even more than that. When we sleep poorly, it actually spikes ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone, and it also suppresses leptin, which is the hormone that tells you when you're full. So your body specifically starts to crave high sugar, high fat foods because it's trying to compensate for this energy debt that it can't fill any other way. If you're exhausted and reaching for something you told yourself you wouldn't eat, this is not willpower. This is a hormonal response to a sleep problem. About our environment, research in behavioral economics shows that what is visible and accessible drives up to 70% of our eating decisions before hunger, before cravings, before choice. That means that your food environment is doing much more of the work before you ever make a conscious decision. And for many of us, that environment is not neutral. There's food deserts, there's limited grocery access, the emotional and financial weight of feeding a family. These are real metabolic concerns, and they deserve real solutions, not judgment. And then joy. I put this last because this is one that is most likely to get dismissed. But you know what? The evidence is unambiguous. Positive emotions activate the parasympathetic system, that rest and digest state that helps with metabolic healing. They actually trigger oxytocin and serotonin, both of which support blood sugar regulation and reduce systemic inflammation. A 2016 study found that higher levels of positive affect, so positive emotions, were independently associated with lower hemoglobin A1C, which is your long-term blood sugar marker. Joy is not a reward for getting healthy. Joy is actually part of the medicine. And this is what I've built my entire approach around. You cannot heal in a framework that makes you feel like your food, your culture, your traditions, and your pleasure are the problem. They are not the problem. They are actually part of the solution. If you're hearing all of this and you're thinking, I need a real framework for this, something that actually works for my life, stay with me to the end. I've built something for you, and I'm going to tell you about it in just a moment. You've probably heard about GLP-1 because of medications like Ozempic and Wegovy. But here's the part that nobody's really talking about. Your body produces its own GLP-1. GLP-1, which is glucagon-like peptide 1, is actually secreted by the cells in your gut after you eat. It signals your pancreas to release insulin in a measured, appropriate way, and it tells your brain that you're satisfied. It slows the release of glucose into your bloodstream so your blood sugar stays stable. It's your body's own built-in metabolic regulator. Research shows, though, that chronic stress, poor sleep, and gut inflammation all impair your body's ability to produce and respond to GLP-1 effectively. So the question isn't what you're eating. The question is, have you created the conditions in your body where your own hormones can actually do their job? This means addressing your nervous system, your sleep, your stress, and your joy. It also means eating in a way that is nourishing, satisfying, and critically, something that you can actually sustain. Because food that disconnects you from your culture and your pleasure is not medicine, it's punishment. And punishment has never healed anybody. This is exactly why I created the 5-day GLP-1 challenge, and it's built around these principles. It is designed for women that are trying to reverse prediabetes, who are done being handed generic plans that have nothing to do with their real lives. Over 5 days, you're going to learn how to shift your nervous system before meals so that your body can actually digest and regulate blood sugar properly. The sleep and stress practices that directly support your insulin sensitivity backed by research. How to eat in a way that naturally boosts your own GLP-1 response with real food from real kitchens. How to build a food environment that works for you, not against you. And how joy, actual pleasure, and ease is not a luxury in this process. It is the whole point. This is weight inclusive. This is culturally grounded. This is evidence-based. The link to join is right below this video. The challenge starts on March 24th. I would love to see you there. If something in this video gave you language for something that you've been feeling, please share it. Send it to a sister, a friend, a cousin, someone you love who has been blaming herself for her own biology. She deserves to know this. What is one thing from today that shifted something in you? I read all of the comments because this is a community, not just a channel.